Don Houghton, it's great to have you on. Now, for people that haven't seen our earlier pieces, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hi, Jean. My name's Dawn Houghton. I'm an innovation consultant. My expertise is in front-end innovation. I've worked over 40 years at CPG companies creating new products and helping improve innovation capability. I've been facilitating competitive panels as a great way to stay in touch and learn more and work with experts such as this panel on CPG in an era of e-commerce and frictionless markets. We have a great group of people working on this panel. We started over 8 months ago. We have experts in marketing, CPG, retail, consultants, finance, a wide variety of expertise, and many of them have been on this for that long. We do have experts who are working in the U.S., UK, Canada. We even have someone from Indonesia. So we do have good diversity on the panel.
They had 3 experts that really stood out to you. Tell us about them.
Christine and Raul have been with us since the very beginning. Christine is a CPG marketing expert, and Raul is an expert in e-commerce who actually comes from apparel marketing. Those two have been with us in the beginning, and they've contributed quite a bit to this topic. And Henry is kind of new to us. He's a financial consultant and had a lot to say about this particular topic. Traditionally, we've talked about what is changing in e-commerce, some of the trends, some of the opportunities, how CPG is changing, how retailers are changing, and all of these sorts of things. And this time, we did something completely different. We did sort of a role play. The idea here was you open your email, you got a note from an executive recruiter, and they're looking to fill a job, and they need an expert in e-commerce. And so the questions that we were asking of the panel was, who do you hope is looking for an expert? Who would you work for? What type of position would you want to have? What company do you think would be out looking for people like you? Do you think this company would be more of a startup or more of a manufacturer or a retailer or whatever? What types of skills would they be looking for? So the idea here was to have a little bit of fun with the topic. Of course, the point wasn't to find out what job each person wanted to have. It was to find out where we think the future of e-commerce is evolving and where the activity is today.
Well, that certainly is a great question. So where do you see e-commerce going?
It's interesting. The board members, just as they are each unique, each saw a different sort of career opportunity. There are some things that they agree on, and then, of course, a lot of diversity. Some of the ideas were to talk about how to improve CPG e-commerce, how to build new capabilities in CPG or e-commerce, and also how to help companies that are lagging and need to start playing in e-commerce. So one of the things that's very clear is that CPG e-commerce is just starting on the e-commerce journey. So there is opportunity in helping CPG grow. There's many interesting challenges to take e-commerce to the next level, whether it be in CPG or in other industries. There are many companies who are lagging, especially, say, CPG traditional manufacturers, who need help to succeed in the e-commerce space. What's interesting about a lot of these roles is whether you're a marketing person or in another function, the roles that are at the cutting edge of e-commerce require you to be more multifunctional. If you are a marketing person, you need to understand operations, logistics, and technology in order to do e-commerce. So a lot of these leadership roles in this area need to have strong multifunctional skills.
I know you discovered 5 key points. Could you share those with us?
The first point is there's plenty of room to grow to take it to the next level. Mary talks about wanting to be the head of e-commerce for Whole Foods. She wants to be part of changing how we shop. Christine talked about wanting to be the chief brand igniter to help bring vision and strategic discipline to a mid-sized company. So she talks about here, it's about this evolution in going to market and how things are changing. And I think a lot of people who are experienced in CPG e-commerce can bring that, especially to smaller size companies. The second key point is about the challenges, creating exciting opportunities. So things that are known problems that need to change. Tyler talks about how the refrigerated, what he calls the cold chain of refrigerated and frozen products is broken. you might think that some of these meal kits have solved the problem, but he's saying they really haven't solved the problem. And the problem is that this stuff needs to be kept cold. And so there needs to be some connection between how it's delivered and a local presence. So he's saying that's a big problem and challenge he'd like to attack. Dave talks about taking convenience to the next level. So we can all tell our stories about direct-to-consumer, like how the mattress market has changed, how Dollar Shave Club has changed the razor blade market. But he's talking here about convenience is what it's all about, and how do we deliver more convenience. The third point is that there are a lot of laggards out there, or if you will, underdogs, whether they be mid-sized companies who have a lot of potential or big companies who just are behind in engaging in e-commerce. Robert talks about helping companies who just don't get this whole multi-channel thing and might be really good at, marketing traditional ways, but helping them be better at doing multiple channels, including e-commerce. Dustin has an interesting comment. So he's saying, the companies that are in the most trouble are the ones that he would like to save. Another area, we talked about the laggards, but then there's also the fact that we have a lot of people in this panel who are experts in e-commerce from a CPG standpoint. And they were very interested in looking at other industries. So Paul, for example, who works in e-commerce at Tesco, he says, I'd really kind of like to go in to fix the broken auto dealer, auto manufacturer e-commerce situation. And Raul, who is an expert in the apparel market, he's saying, there's a lot of world-class top brands in apparel who really are vulnerable to this new frictionless e-commerce world, and he'd love to be part of helping them stay up to date and relevant. One thing I mentioned in the executive summary is the importance of a multifunctional skill set. So everybody said leadership was important no matter which type of job that they picked. Henry says here you need leadership, technological skills, so you need to be tech savvy, you need to be marketing savvy, operations, and finance. In order to move forward in this space, you need to be well-versed in a broader multifunctional skill set. So as part of the platform, we have a trends section where we ask what are the most critical e-commerce trends companies should be preparing for the next 3 to 5 years. And panelists rated on likelihood of impact and significance of impact. And they have entered 30 or 40 different trends. The ones most relevant to the topic that we're talking about today, which is finding jobs that are really at the cutting edge of e-commerce, are the 5 that are highlighted here. So the one at the top right, data mining has moved beyond marketing. People who have career expertise relating to data mining are now very much needed in the e-commerce space. The second one, online shopping linked to local store. The battle for the last mile is also an example of for example, the cold chain, or how does logistics change to become even more convenient. Smart subscriptions are an area that is the ultimate inconvenience and can get even better. Direct to consumer is another example where you're kind of at the cutting edge of e-commerce. So all of these 5 are ones that seem to have intriguing career opportunities associated with them. Let me just close by saying that our final theme, which we're right now working on, is one relating to Amazon. Amazon is so important to the e-commerce world for CPG. It's a very interesting take on diving into what Amazon thinks about Amazon.
Don Houghton, innovative consultant, over 40 years in the business. I'm sure people have questions. How do they reach you?
Well, if anyone wants to talk, just drop me an email at dawn@dawofinnovation.com or find me on LinkedIn.
Thanks for sharing your research with us today.